But that's okay. I'll just put up more websites. It's not going to knock me down. I take these hits. The Lord said all those in Him are going to suffer persecution. This is just being part of it, folks. This is just part of the games that they play and the persecution that we go through. I really liked that Crystal City fraud site, though, so I'm just going to put that on the Watcher Files site. And probably the Islam lies and the Talmud lies. I'll just incorporate those on the Watcher Files website. And the reason I didn't want all those websites on one to begin with is because if they take one down, I still have the others up. And so that works in my favor. I mean, they've always targeted. They stopped targeting the Watcher Files. I used to take that website down all the time, and I used to have to fight to get it put back up. And so instead of targeting the website itself, they would go after the information on the website. They would start messing with the links so they wouldn't work. And they'd still do that to this day, but at least pretty much the rest of the website is up. And if somebody sends me an email and tells me exactly what information they want that's not working, I can fix it on the website. Because a lot of times it gets messed up with. They can go into your computer. If you have internet access, they can get into your computer. They can get into your hard drive. I've had them wipe out pictures and files off of my hard drive, let alone my website files. So just another way that they're working. What do you think of Raylan Allen? Raylan Allen runs Rumor Mill News. Don't really have an opinion. I've talked to her several times over the years. Seems to have a lot of the same views I do about the aliens. I've been on her list for quite a while, several years. I don't go to the website that much itself. I don't go to anybody's websites. I don't have anything really bad to say about her at this point. I know there's a lot of people think her website is just a mouthpiece for the CIA. But then I'll see her come up with stuff the CIA would roll over in their graves over. So sometimes she sounds a lot like me as far as her knowledge on the aliens and what they're doing. And so I don't have any real opinion on it, folks. You know what? There's a lot of people out there putting out good information. And you just have to chew the grass and spit out the hay. Any questions, you can send them to SherryTalkRadio.com. Somebody's saying I'm low and they can hardly hear me. My volume's all the way up, so you're going to have to turn your volume up. Anybody else having problems with volume, just let me know, because I'm not having any problem here. I'm going to end the show for the night. I was going to get into this stuff up. The Lord, just let the Lord take over it. And a couple things to keep in and watch out for. As June 15th comes closer, the supposed Nasera first contact at Salt Lake City, they may try to thwart that. If the government thinks it's a serious threat, they're going to come on June 15th. We may see some earthquakes hitting across the country. They're already prepping and preconditioning people for homegrown attacks here, for terrorist attacks here, for their attacks on Americans. They're pre-warning us they're going to attack us. So be careful. If you feel led to get out of a certain area, listen to your spirit. Be sensitive to the Lord leading your spirit, because He will try to protect His own. But you have to be able to. You have to hear Him. Be willing to listen. If He tells you to get out of an area, get out of the area. Don't know if it's going to be nuclear attacks or earthquakes. They could pretty much come in any angle they want to. But they got desperate enough last time to go ahead and take down WTC to prevent the last contact date. So there was a bank in one of the WTC buildings that was supposed to be working on the transfer of this Nasera, the funds and the money and the announcement and all that. And so, they didn't think twice of taking down the WTC. For all we know, Kansas could have been a practice run gearing up their tornado weapon. And And so we don't know, folks. So it'll be interesting from now until June 15th. But you can always tell when they're starting to panic. Another thing is with Bush wanting to appoint leaders. That's another hair raiser for you, eye raiser, because their ultimate plan on both sides of the coin, the Sarah agenda, the Bush agenda, is to get rid of Congress. And so I had seen this in the Bible codes years ago about Congress being on fire. And so that'll be interesting to see when that ever comes out. And I know the months for May and July were dominant on those. And I remember years ago, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, I sent Ron Paul an email warning him to stay out of Washington, D.C. in July. And this was like years ago. This was before, way before he ever announced he was going to be a presidential candidate. I haven't talked to him, sent him an email since. Probably just thought I was a loony nut. Like most do. But that's, this stuff can happen. And so, just something to look for. Telltale months of this whole year will be May, June, and July. And so just be ready. Keep in prayer with the Lord so that you can hear Him. If He's leading and guiding you in any particular way the next 3 months. We're going to close with one more question. What's the deal with all these supposed former mind control and directed energy weapon scientists coming out now, fessing up to stuff we know already? Yeah, they're always like $1 short and a day late, aren't they? I mean, after we already know all this stuff's out, then you have all these experts coming out. I think it's a controlled information leaks, We've already got information out about directed energy weapons. I've been the victim of them twice. Or actually about 3 or 4 times. I've been the victim of a directed energy weapon. And so now you have all these self-proclaimed experts coming out. I think, they always have to control. They have to be at the top of whatever area of information is coming out. Look at the people coming out to set themselves up as the experts. Because they try to control themselves as being at the top so that they ultimately can protect something else they're trying to protect. If there's already information coming out about pulse beam weapons and stuff, then there's probably an area about them or information about them that they want to protect, and so they'll always keep the information spun in a certain direction and away from the area they're trying to protect from getting known to people. So it's usually just an information game, basically. I mean, it's just like, Alex Jones has a lot of great information, but he'll protect it and swing anything about the New World Order from being blamed on the Jews, serpent seedliners. And so, everybody has the one area they're protecting. Can you expound on the Montauk base in New York? Oh, ew. I've heard a lot about the Montauk base. I'll talk about that next week. But this very active base, run and controlled by joint military and reptilians in New York. They have used that base for years to create gateways into other. If you ever saw the series Stargate, think of Montauk. And also other things going on that base. We'll talk a little about Montauk next week. I don't have time to get into it this week. So we'll just leave it out there for next week. Any other questions, you can send them during the week to SherryTalkRadio@yahoo.com. So just watch your backs this week, folks, this month, May, June, and July, because they're getting panicky. We don't know which button they're going to push, the nuke button, the earthquake button, the Congress. It'll be interesting. I'll just keep our eyes open and see what else they're preparing the sheeple for, because I think we're all stupid. Well, we see it coming, and just prepare as the Lord leads you, folks. Until then, I'll see you next week. God bless everybody.